Hi everyone, I'm Alexa. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is for runners. So or walkers, if you're a runner, this is going to be a great 20-minute class for you. And so something that a lot of people don't realize is that it's important to add some flexibility to the body if you are a runner, because running tends to tighten up the muscles, especially of like the large muscle groups. But the other thing that you want to do is you want to work on strength building. You want to strengthen the muscles that will help protect the joints. So you want a balance of both. You want some flexibility, but you also want some strength building. So we're going to move through a couple things today. You will need a strap. If you don't have a strap, grab a scarf, a belt, a tie, anything about this shape and size would be fine. And we're going to get right into it. So we're going to start in downward facing dog. So I want you to go ahead and come to the mat, tuck the toes, and then send the hips up and back. We're going to find some movement here just to start. So I want you to pedal the feet and bend one knee as you press to the opposite heel, and then just slowly switch sides. And really check in and just notice how your body's feeling today. So any areas that feel tense or tight. And then coming into your breath. So imagine that you can send the breath, those nice deep inhales, to the spaces of the body that feel a little bit tight. And then let's find a still down dog. So I like my feet a little closer than hips distance. It's personal preference. There's no right or wrong where your feet placement is in down dog. It's more about how it feels in your body. You want to press the fingertips down, lengthen through the spine, and then really send the sits bones, the hips, up and back, and imagine the heels lengthening down toward the mat. If this is too much, or if you feel anything in your low back in downward facing dog, just bend into the knees. Bend as much as you need to. And then we'll lift the right leg up and open up the hip, bend the knee, and drop the heel. So really just want a gentle opening on the front of the right hip. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, go ahead and step your right foot forward and come to a low lunge. So you're going to ground your left knee. If you have blocks, great. If not, just anything about this shape and size would be fine. If you need them, grab them. You have a couple different heights there to help you. We're just going to find a little bit of dynamic movement. So to start, our right knee is stacked on top of the right ankle. And I want you to just shift your hips back and forward. Just finding a nice pace that works for you. It doesn't have to be the same pace that I'm moving. We just want to get a little bit of warmth and a little bit of heat into the right leg, front of the left hip. Now, it's always good, it's always smart to move dynamically before statically, because it gives you a chance to really warm up and bring some blood flow into those muscles. And just go back and forth a couple more times. And then just pause here with the hips shifted back in half splits pose. We'll just gently open up the back of the right leg so you're not folding deep into this pose. I want you to keep the upper body lifted and the heart space moving forward. You can use blocks in your hands or just keep your hands on the mat. Send the hips back. Keep a soft bend of this right knee and flex into the right foot. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath here. Take 1 more. And then at the end of that exhale, shift forward and bring both hands inside your right leg. So from here, I want you to toe heel your right foot out just a little bit, and then turn the foot so that the toes are facing the outer or the top right corner of the mat. And then you can keep the hands on the mat and the sole of the foot on the mat. Or if it feels good, maybe splay the knee out, but keep the right foot engaged. And you're welcome to stay here and keep the heart space lifting. If it feels better for you, you can also lower down onto the forearms. It's just going to be personal preference of how that feels in your body. Maybe even just find a little sway side to side. It's a really great hip opener. It's actually called runner's lunge. Good. And then from here, bring your left hand to the mat, and then you're going to kick your left heel in if this feels good. You can stay there and just get a gentle opening of the left quadricep, or reach your right hand around for the top of the left foot. And then gently kick your left foot into your right hand. You're opening up through the chest here, through the front body. A couple rounds of breath here. You can also lower back down onto the forearm of the left arm. You just want to stay open, chest lifted. Take one more deep breath in. And then breath out, slowly release. Bring the right leg back into center. Tuck the toes of the left foot, and then step back. Find plank pose. So working on a little bit of that strength building. You want to draw your toes and wrists in toward one another. Grow the spine long. Engage through the legs. Draw the low belly up and in. You've got 2 more rounds of breath here. 1 more deep breath in. And then breath out, come to downward facing dog. Let's take an inhale through the nose. And out through the mouth. And then inhale, let's lift the left leg up toward the sky. Same thing we did on the other side. Bend the knee, open up the hip, draw the heel back toward the right side. Gentle opening of the front of the left hip. Breath in. And breath out. Step the left foot to the top of the mat. Find that low lunge. Ground the right knee over left ankle. And then we're going to move back into that dynamic movement on this side. So you need your blocks, grab them. Otherwise, just walk your hands forward and back. Really just moving into the left knee and then shifting the hips back. Starting to build a little bit of heat, a little bit of fire into the left leg, front of the left hip. Remember to keep breathing through all of these motions and all of these movements. Sometimes we forget to breathe. Let's just go back and forth a couple more times. Between low lunge and half splits pose. Last time. And then let's pause here in half splits pose. Same thing we did on the other side. Lift the heart space up, send the hips back. Soft bend of the left knee, draw the toes toward the face. Sometimes I even like to rub the backs of the hamstrings. They're such a large muscle group. Helps to just get some heat in there. Let's take 1 more round of breath. And then shift forward. And then bring both hands inside the left foot. So you're going to walk your left foot out just a little bit. And then angle the left foot so the toes, the left toes, point toward the top left corner of the mat. Flex the foot. Option to splay the knee out if you did that on the other side. You've got some options. Maybe lower back down to the forearms if that feels good. Maybe just find a little movement. Hips gently move side to side. You can always keep the left knee in toward the body and keep the sole of the left foot on the mat. So a couple different things to try there. Just anything that feels good to you. Okay. And then I'm actually going to turn this way so you can see a little better. Same thing we did on the other side. Now we're going to open up and then kick the right heel in. This may be enough for you. This may be telling you stop, that this is enough. You're feeling plenty in the right quadricep, or reach around for the top of the left foot. Really open up through the chest. Instead of just pulling the foot in, put some energy into that and send, or kick rather, your right foot into your left hand. Option to drop down to the right forearm. Let's take one more deep breath in. And breath out, slowly release. Plant the palms, step back, and then find plank pose. Stack the shoulders over the wrists, draw the navel up and in, grow the spine long, press the mat away. Try to create a dome-like shape of the upper back, so you want a little bit of space between the shoulder blades. One more inhale, and then exhale, downward facing dog, send the hips up and back. Inhale, lift the heels, exhale, bend the knees, and then walk to the top. You're going to take a chair pose, which is really great for just strengthening the lower body and helping with that joint stability. So bring your feet together, toes together, heels apart, and then sit back, send the hips back, and then reach your arms forward. Option to bring the hands together at heart center, if that feels a little bit better for the shoulders. But lift all 10 toes up and really root down through the balls of the feet and the heels of the feet. Zip up through the legs. You want to imagine that two legs become one. So I'm pressing my calves, my knees, my inner thighs in toward one another, engaging through the core and lifting the heart space up nice and tall. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. Maybe even sink the hips a little lower. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, come to a forward fold. And you can walk the feet out a little bit wider than hips distance, but put a bend into the knees and then reach for opposite elbows. You can stay here statically or maybe just find a little movement. And then release towards center. Bring the feet a little closer together. You're going to take a pyramid pose here. So I want you to step your left foot back about 3 feet or so in between the feet, but then create some distance in the width. So right foot is out toward the right, left foot is out toward the left. You want some space in between the feet. Soft bend of the right knee. You can bring your hands to heart center or to the hips or to blocks if you need some blocks here. But really grow the spine long. Think flat back or halfway lift here. So draw the shoulder blades back and then send your right hip back slightly, left hip forward, just to get the hips a little bit more square. We're feeling this through the back of the right leg. Just taking 2 more rounds of breath here. One more deep breath in. And then breath out. Bend into the right knee, plant the hands down, step the left foot forward, and switch sides. So you're going to take a big step back with the right foot this time. Again, right foot moving out toward the top right corner of the mat. So in other words, the back leg, the back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Left hip back, right hip forward for squaring these hips off, long spine. Soft bend of the left knee, really press the ball of the left foot down. Okay, hands to blocks, to heart center, to the hips, whatever you need to do here. And it's very common, very normal if one side feels a little tighter than the other. There's no two sides of the body are the same. Just want to try to balance out the sides best we can. And then slowly release, step the right foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift, grow the spine long. And then exhale, fold, plant the palms, and then we'll step back to our plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Building a little bit more strength there, grip the mat with the fingertips, grow the spine long, activate through the legs. Deep inhale, deep exhale, really press the mat away. You You want to create some space between the shoulder blades, so think of a dome-like shape of the upper back. One more deep breath in, and then breath out, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, and then walk or step the feet through. I'm going to come to a seat, and let's go ahead and rock all the way back. I'm going to take a pigeon on our backs today. So let's start with soles of the feet onto the mat, and then stack your right ankle above your left knee. Option to stay here, or interlace the hands behind the left thigh. You can use the right elbow to gently press the right knee away. And just check in to make sure that you're not straining or anything like that in the shoulders, in the neck, in the face. Just kind of let the body soften down to the mat. But keep the right foot engaged. I'm going to take one more deep breath in. And then breath out, slowly release, and we'll switch sides. So this time stack your left ankle above your right knee. Option to stay there, or if you took it on the other side, interlace the hands behind the right thigh. Use the left knee to send the left leg away. Activate through the left foot. Let the ears soften, or shoulders rather, soften away from the ears. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, release. Place the soles of the feet onto the mat. We're going to take one more stretch with the strap. So you're going to hook your strap or scarf, belt, whatever you're using, beneath the ball of the right foot as you bring the right knee in, and then begin to straighten the right leg, but keep a little bend in the right knee, and then lengthen the left leg long to the mat. Energetically draw your right hip towards your left heel. Flex into the right foot, draw the toes toward the face. Think of sending the heel up toward the ceiling. Take one more full breath in, and then breath out. We're going to move into IT band stretch from here. So I want you to slightly turn your toes inward. Think toes in, heel out. Take the strap into your left hand, and then bring your right arm out to the side, and just send your right leg toward the outside, the left side of the body. So you'll start to feel this in the IT band, which runs from the hip all the way down to the knee. Super important for runners because oftentimes that becomes really tight and can cause some injuries. Just want to make sure you're doing some IT band stretches while you're running. Not while you're running, but for your running. If you would like, you can also go ahead and take the right leg all the way over and move into a full spinal supine twist. And then slowly bring the right leg back in, and then unhook the strap, place the sole of the right foot back down to the mat, and then we'll switch sides. So take the strap beneath the ball of the left foot, extend the left leg up, and then right leg long. Soft bend of the left knee. Flex the left foot so that the toes point the face, but then send the left heel up toward the ceiling. Draw your left left hip toward your right heel. You have a couple rounds of breath here. And then we'll move into that IT band stretch. So turn the toes slightly in, take the strap into the right hand, and then reach your left arm out toward the left. And then begin to send your left leg just over toward the outside of the body. Nice IT band stretch. And then if you did it on the other side, you can stay there or take that into a full supine spinal twist. And then slowly release. Bring the leg back through center, unhook the strap. You can set the strap off to the side. Come back to that constructive rest pose. So bend the knees, and it's a great place to stop and just check in and notice how the body feels after working both sides. This is a really great pose for the hip flexors. Just to come back to a neutral position. And then bring the knees in toward the chest. Give yourself a little hug and a little rock side to side. And if you have the time, I hope you will stay for a 3-minute Shavasana. If not, I understand. Thank you so much for practicing with me. If you like this video, hit the like button below, hit subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, requests, please comment below. And I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.